Hello and welcome to an Edexcel iGCSE past paper question. This is paper 2 from November 2023. So this is a practical paper where you're given some files and the question asks you to edit the files, do things with the files. And you can see the data files here, which are linked in the description that you'll need to be able to answer this question. Total marks are out of 100. This combines with the paper 1 to give a total mark out of 200 for your total GCSE grade. So some instructions to candidates here, which include how the paper breaks down. Two sections, A and B. Section A is graphics, database, web authoring, total marks 50, and then the data files you need. And section B, there, spreadsheet and word processing. So this covers most areas. The only thing we can't see there is making a presentation. So it's either web authoring or making a presentation, depending on which year it is, or which series it is, because there's two papers throughout the year. There's the November series and the June series. So total marks 100. So we'll go and have a look at the first question, but before we do, please could you like and subscribe to my channel. Like this video and subscribe to my channel and share it with anyone else who needs it, who could find it useful. I'd be really grateful. So we'll go in and have a look at the questions now. Section A, Task A1. Clara needs a logo to be used on some of the company documents. Task A1A, create the logo. You must make a logo that must be simple, a simple drawing that is fit for purpose and combines lines and colored shapes, represents fitness, includes EWF on the logo, and save it as logo. So I'm going to create mine in PowerPoint. Now, it's really easy to create a logo in PowerPoint. You can create most logos in PowerPoint and you can save it as an image. If you don't have graphics editing software, then this is a really good alternative. So all you've got to do is get some shapes here. So I'm just going to keep it really, really simple. So I'm going to get a shape. I'm probably going to might choose a bright color, just make a really bright logo. So once I've done that, copy and paste that and make sure that lines up there like that. Now I'm going to get the one. I want this to be different. It does need to look like it's different shapes. I think that's really important because it's combining shapes. So might make that grey. Going to make that grey there. Okay, and it must include EWF on the logo. So I'm going to get some word art there and write EWF. So just check that that's going to meet the requirements. So represents fitness, it's a bar, a dumbbell, includes EWF on the logo. Yes, EWF I make, it looks like that is an italic font. So I'm going to make that an italic font there. And that is a dumbbell. I'm just going to maybe make that a bit smaller there like that. I'm going to delete that. Maybe overthinking it a bit. It's probably best not to do that. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy and paste that there. I think that looks better. That's definitely a dumbbell. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I highlight it like that, the whole lot, and let's group that together. Then we can right click on that and save as picture. So I can copy and paste that in. That's the logo now, and I'm happy with that. So we'll answer these questions here. I'm just going to type on here. You would write on the document given to you that I'm linking in the description. There's an actual document, an answer document that goes with it, this that you need to write on. But for the purposes of time, I'm just going to write on here. Give two benefits of using a vector image for a company logo. So my two benefits are that the image can easily be enlarged without pixelation and it takes up less storage space. 2. Give one drawback of using a vector image for a company logo. It's not so suitable for working with photographs and it's not suitable for complex graphics. So that completes A1 for a total of 7 marks. Task A2. Clara has collected information about the company's fitness classes. She saved the information in the database fitness. The database has 3 tables, classes, clients and booking. So here's some information about the database. You've got field, name, data type and description. Now we can find all that in the database itself. So I use Microsoft Access and I've opened up the database here. So you've got booking, classes and clients there. So if you want to see information about how the database is put together, you could see that there. So if you go to View and Design View, you can see everything that was in the exam paper there. So we've got our first task here, create a form for the booking table. The form must include the logo you created in task A1 in the top of the header and some details here. So we'll go to Access and create that form now. So we need to close all of this. I just want to keep the booking table open because it needs to be of the booking table. So a form from booking table here. So click on Create and Form Wizard. I'm going to use the Form Wizard because it just makes things, it doesn't stop you using the wizard in the exam. It makes things easier for things like this. So I want the table booking. I want all of those on there. So press the double arrows there. Next. Now it should specify what kind of form it is, columnar or tabular, but it doesn't here. So I'm going to go with the default. Next. So now it needs to be saved. Booking underscore form. So I'm going to do that now. Booking and then underscore and then caps lock on again form. And I want to modify the form's design because I need to work on that. It won't be finished. There's things I need to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the logo in the top left. So I'm just going to pull this out. I'm going to move this across. I'm not going to edit this just yet. I will be doing, but I just want to put the logo in the top left here first. So insert logo and I'm going to browse to file. So I browsed to where the logo was saved and I've inserted it there. So that's my logo in the top left hand side. I'll try and move that over a little bit if I can. That's better. Okay, I won't try and play with that too much because when I did, it seemed to be making it even worse. So I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead, so to speak. So include the title class booking form as serif font, dark background, white text. So let's do that now. So it's obviously a lot easier when you do this, when you've got the exam paper in front of you. I'm just kind of flicking between the exam paper and what's on the screen. So I'm going to change that here. I'm going to edit this here to class booking form. So that's the first thing done. Serif font, we'll do that now. Let's choose a serif font. The default serif font, when you're asked to do a serif font, is I would always go for Times New Roman. It's a default serif font. Serif font means it's got these little lines on the letters there, like the F there, you can see that little line there. So if you're not too sure what it means, what is sans serif font? A serif font I'd always default to Times New Roman. A sans serif font, a font without serifs, is Arial. Arial is a good one, and Calibri as well is another good one here that I would choose. So just stick that with Times New Roman, then I know I've got a serif font. Dark background, white text, so change that to white text first. There, that's easily done. And then this needs to be a dark background, so right click on it. I want to choose the color, so you should go with a dark blue. That looks pretty good. Okay, be customized so that the width of the field headings is 3 centimeters. So these are the field headings here. So I need to look at the properties sheet there, and the width I need to edit manually and put in 3. Okay, so that's now 3 centimeters. So maybe I need to move that across a little bit. When I start doing that, it moves the other one as well. So maybe I'll leave that where it is. Include an instruction on the form. Please check data before saving. Sorry. So I'm going to add that now. So I'm going to choose a label here. Put this label on. Click on that there. Sorry. And do that there. So please check data before saving. Save the form's booking underscore form. Yes. Take a screenshot showing set the width. So I want to screenshot that. I want to highlight this and put that into the document that I've linked to in the description. For the sake of time, I'm not going to do that, but you can take a screenshot yourself. Print screen, Command Shift 3, I think, on the Mac. Function print screen. Take a screenshot of that and paste it into evidence and resave evidence, and that completes that task. Task A2B. Another booking has been made. Use the booking underscore form you created to add these bookings here. So It's easy enough to do, but also, so if you go to view and form view, then we need to click on the end, last record, and next, and then we can add our record. Make sure you enter the details correctly. So BK66 is the booking ID, client ID MAD 0996, so we'll do that now, and then class ID MOPIL. So take a screenshot of that. As it says, please check data before saving. Make sure you get that right. You don't put any typos in there. Take your time to do that. That's an extra 2 marks there. It is important. So take a screenshot of that, and that is completed. And we'll move on to the next task here. A2C. Task A2C. Clara wants a list of clients who are not located in UK or Europe, pay monthly for classes, started classes in 2022 or 2023. Create a query on the clients table to produce the list. So let's have a look at that table then. So this is a clients table, so not located in UK or Europe, so you want the other there, because you've got Europe and UK, you want all the others there. 2022 or 2023, and pay monthly. So you can see we've got that payment there, pay monthly. It needs to be monthly. So I can close that now, and we're going to create our query. We don't need to use the wizard. I'm just going to go to query design. It's fairly straightforward, this. I don't need the property sheet. I'm just going to move that out the way because it's not really helping. I'm just going to double click on all of these to put all of these on. I don't have to have them in my query, but just so I know what I need to have on there, I'm going to put that on there. So we'll just take each point not located in UK or Europe. So that location criteria should be other. So I'm just going to run that query then. So that's all the others there. What you need to do is take each bullet point separately and get that bullet point to work, and then move on to the next one. So pay monthly for classes. So payment method, that needs to be monthly. So run that there. That's pay monthly, and go back to design view, and we'll do the final point. Started classes in 2022 or 2023. So year class started 2022 or 2023. Now this is going to cause a problem because I need to put these in here as well, otherwise it's not going to recognize all these things. So it must be other, monthly, and 2022 or 2023. So I'll run that query there, and these are my results. I need to save that as client. Let's just go back and double check that. Clients underscore query. So save that. Save object as. So caps lock on, clients underscore query. So that's saved now. Screenshot that. The list must, so this is the second part, this is the 3 marks now, show only these fields in this order: client ID, initial, client name, year started. So go back to design. So on client ID there, that's the first one, yeah. Initial, so initial should come next. So what I need to do is just drag that over so it does come next. Client name comes next, yep, and year started. So that's got to come here. So I'm just going to put that there. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that. There, just run that. Be sorted in descending order of client ID. So just go back to design view, sort, descending, run. Then you're going to take a screenshot of that to put in your evidence. So it should look like that, descending order. So descending means Z to A. Ascending means A to Z. Descending Z to A. So remember, ascending, I ascend the stairs, I go up the stairs, I descend the stairs, I come down. And that completes that part there. Task A2D. Clara wants a list of classes. A list must include the classes where she's an instructor, and that costs £6. Show only these fields in this order: class ID, day, title, and type. Sort the results into ascending order of class ID. Save the classes as classes underscore query. So we need to make another query now. So go back to the classes table. Let's just go and have a look at that. So class ID, data, so where she is instructor, and that costs £6. So instructor there, Clara, yeah, and it must be £6. So those are the two things that I need to filter on. So let's go and create our query now. So again, I don't know initially what fields I need or what I don't need, so I put the whole lot in. So where she is instructor, so instructor is Clara. So let's put that into our criteria and make sure you spell it correctly, otherwise it's not going to work. So run that. That's Clara's classes, and where the cost is 6. So just try and just put 6 in there and run it. Yep, that's worked. £6. That's the three. That's one bullet point there. Sorry. Show only these fields in this order: class ID, day, title, type. So go to design view. The class ID, day comes next. Title, type. We don't need any of those there. So class ID, day, title, type. Sort the results into ascending order of class ID and save it as classes underscore query. So ascending, and we'll save it now. Save as, remember, save, and it's quite specific, caps lock on classes underscore query. Okay, saved. So that then is the basis for the next bit, a report. Clara wants a database report based on the results from the classes query. Create a database report to display these results. So we'll go and do that now, and there's quite a long list of requirements that need to be met. So close that. That's saved. Create. Now again, I think I'd use the wizard for this, report wizard. So choose classes underscore query. I want everything on there. Next, next, next. Now it doesn't say type of report, so I'm just going to go with the default. Next, classes. So the report should be saved as classes report with no underscore. Modify the design. Finish. So the first bullet is a suitable title. So I could say report. My caps lock's on. Report on the classes, not the catches of titles, but as long as it's different to the default, I think that's okay. Group the report based on the field day. So it needs to be grouped on day. So I believe that is grouped on day there. You've got the days together, so that's okay. Include an automated date in short date format in the header. So go back to design view. We need an automated date up here. So date and time. So short date format. So this is short date format here, and that goes on there, and that should be automated there. So that, just double check that. Report view. I'm just going to move that out a bit because it was a bit cut off there. I'm just going to move that out a bit. Show only required fields. Yes. Show the records sorted as required. I think they were automatically sorted, so just double check that. So the sorting was on ascending order of class ID, so just double check that that is correct. Yeah, that looks okay. That's ascending order. Be formatted so the day field and the date value stand out. So that needs to be emboldened. So we'll make that bold there and that bold there. Yeah, that's standing out. Include the page numbers in the report header. So it needs to be page numbers up here as well. Just going to move that out. I'm still not happy about the way that was formatted there. So page number, really want that there. I don't want that there. Okay. So in terms of screenshots, there's quite a lot to this. Take a screenshot in design view. Show you included an automated date there. That shows that there. If we want to see properties there. So you're looking at short date there. That needs to be in your screenshot. It's really important to get the mark there. Paste a screenshot. Take a screenshot in print view, making sure you show the page number. So to do that, view, print preview, and then we can see the page number there. We take a nice screenshot of that and resave the evidence, and that completes that there for 8 marks. A to E, create the relationship between the 3 tables. So go to that, close that, save base tools relationships, and double click on this. So this hasn't got relationships between them, so you need to create it. So start with the class ID. That's the primary key there. That should be linked to the foreign key there. Create. Okay, one to many. A class has many bookings, but a booking belongs to a class. You can see that there. So that's the infinity sign there, one to many. So that should be the first relationship that you create. And then client ID here. Well, that needs to go over here. This is going to be the table that's in the middle, as that's my link there. So client ID here, create. So that's a one-to-many relationship. So clients have many bookings, but a booking belongs to a client. And then take a screenshot of that, and that is done. So remember, relationship design there, just simply drag that. Make sure the fields match. So primary key, foreign key, primary key, foreign key there. If you're asked to do that, the fields should match up. A to F. Answer these questions in the document evidence. Because of time, I'm going to write on here. State one field that is used as a primary key in the fitness table, database, just go with class ID would be the simplest one there. So I'm just going to write that in, class ID. You could have had booking ID, client ID. Give one reason why a primary key is used in a database. It is used to differentiate between records. There could be a client who has the same name as someone else. So we need to have a unique identifier. So it provides a unique identifier is the key reason for a primary key. A unique identifier is also used to create a relationship with another table. And 3, explain one reason why a lookup list has been used on the instructor field in the classes table. So let's go and have a look at that. Just come out of this. So instructor there, you've got this lookup list, Clara, Lisa, Sol, Thomas. That is called a lookup list. So it has been used so that we can avoid it's a form of validation. So it is a form of data validation to ensure that the data is entered correctly, so we don't misspell someone's name, we enter the data correctly. And that completes task A2 for a total of 26 marks. Task A3. Clara wants you to create 2 web pages to promote the company. Contents for the web page is stored in the file web pages. She wants you to create 2 pages, home and classes, saved as .html, and you're given a wireframe design here. So your logo and company name goes at the top, link to home page, link to classes page, some text, some image, and details of the email address that is given at the start of the exam paper. So this is the details that were given here, web page. So content for web page, home page text, and table layout and design on the classes page. So I'm going to use some software called KompoZer. Now I'll link to the download in the description. It is free software. It is about the last one left. Microsoft Pages is long gone. It's the last one left in this kind of genre out there. There isn't anything else that is free and is as suitable to use as KompoZer. When this goes, I don't know what would do about building a web page, but this is it really, unless you use Dreamweaver, and unfortunately I don't have that, and I don't think it's particularly suited to the requirements of this question to use something for Dreamweaver. So you're given some details here, some HTML elements that must be seen, and they'll be part of the screenshots there. So heading 1 for company name, text for paragraph, this color scheme, a background color here. So we're given hexadecimal code there, color code there, how much red, how much green, how much blue. That's going to be a purple color and the text color. So we'll go ahead in KompoZer and set our background color. So first thing I want to do is set my background color. So go to Format, and I'm going to do Page Colors and Background, and this dialog box appears. I need to check Custom Colors and Background. So here I need to type in the hexadecimal code that I'm given, D7BDE2. So I'm going to type that in here. So I've typed in the hexadecimal code. It's D7BDE2. Click OK. Click OK. And it goes as purple color, which is what is required. So that's that done. The text color we'll do in a minute when we start adding some text, but I could start adding the logo and company name at the top. And remember, I'm given the company name here, so I must keep referring back to this. Always have, maybe bookmark this in the actual physical paper you get so you can keep referring back to it. It's Evolving with Fitness, EWF, and that has to appear at the top. So we'll go and start to build this wireframe here by starting to insert my logo. So the easiest way to do that is to insert a table. I'm going to insert a 1 by 2 table there, and I'm going to input everything here. It's a little small, so I need to stretch that out a bit. I'm going to put my logo here and EWF there. So I'm going to browse to my logo now and put that in here. Now, alt text, you can add an alt text there if you're required to do that. That's for people with visual impairments. And add alt text there, but we're not requested to do that, so appearance, and there's no link there. Okay, so that is ready to go on there. So press enter and that appears there. It's far too big, so I'm just going to shrink that down to a more reasonable size. And here I'm going to move this in as well because the space given for this is far too big. I've added Evolving with Fitness there, but I want to just change the font. So I'm just going to go with Arial add, that's a little bit too big. So we're just going to make that a bit smaller. And I would also like to make that italic as well. And fitness needs to be a capital F. I want it to be exact. So I'm just taking that from the house style details I'm given there. So logo and company name, link to home page, link to classes page. I'll do that now. So just move the cursor down and insert another table. I'm pretty much building this with tables really. So it's just the easiest way to do that. This is going to be space for my, I'm going to leave space there for my logos. Sorry, my buttons that take me to the different pages, not logo. I've done the logo, and then space for the text, and then 3 images. So we'll do press return. I'm just building up the wireframe at the moment, just so I know how much space I've got. So space I need here is for the text, so that's going to be 1 box there. I'm going to move that up like that, and I might need some more space there. The reason that this is so big is because I've chosen quite a large font size there, but I'm going to change that. So that's the text that goes here, then the 3 images, and then information email us. So let's deal with the 3 images. So I'm going to choose 6 there. So table with 6 spaces in there, so that I've got space for the space between the images, if that makes sense. And then finally, for more information, email us. So that's the last thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to insert a table, last thing there, and that's going to go down the bottom there. And that's my wireframe built up. So I'm going to now populate that with some of the details. I'm going to start with the easy thing, the text. So that's the easiest thing to put in there. So I'm going to start with that. Now, obviously that's far too big. So let's sort that out now. Font, smaller. So it's Control minus. It looks really odd, the font there. So I'm going to delete that and repaste that in. Now, when I pasted that in, I said paste without formatting. So I don't want all that white space around the writing, even though that's a bit smaller. It's not quite what I want. It's a lot easier to do this, so make it larger. I like that. Okay, but I'm going to choose Arial. I'm going to choose a sans serif font. I don't think it says anything serif font. Just the text color. So we need to change the text color there to this number given here. So company name, H1, text paragraph P. That's the HTML that I'm asked to do there. So this has now gone to that, and that needs to be an H1. So H1 there, heading 1. So make sure that is heading 1, otherwise you're not going to get the marks there. And then highlight this here, and this has to be paragraph. Okay, even if it doesn't necessarily look the best there, it has to be a paragraph. Okay, so starting to come together. let's do the email because that's another easy thing to do. So the email is this. I just choose by select there. I want to highlight that. I just want to simply copy and paste that just to make life easier. And again, I'm going to paste without formatting, but it comes in as this serif font. So I'm just going to change that to the top one there. So now that we've got our text on there, we do need to change the color because we're going to miss out on that mark if we do. So we'll do that now. I'm going to highlight this here and I'm going to change the text color. And I need to type that in exactly there. And it's obviously easier if you've got that in front of you. So 5B, 2C, 6F. Type that in there like that. That's kind of like a darker purple. So again, so that's that done. And obviously I need this to be the same as well. Okay, 2C, 6F. Okay, so all I need to do now then is get the buttons on there. So link to home page, link to classes page. They don't really necessarily need to be buttons. And then put 3 images on there. That's going to be a little tricky because it's going to mess up the formatting somewhat. So maybe I'll put the images in first. So insert picture, image, then I'm going to browse to file. So I'm in the images folder here and I've got some choices of images here. So I'm just going to say start with that one. Don't use alt text. Now I'm having to press, there seems to be a problem with it displaying the dialog box. I'm having to press enter to be able to do that, but I'm going to have to spend some time just sorting out this formatting here. So just to move that across there. So that's my space there. So I need a space between the 3 images. Now, does it say anything about, it's 250 by 250? It does. So I need to change that size. I need to specify the image properties and dimensions. It must be 250 by 250. Okay, I assume that that's done that, and that's that there. Just double check. Yeah, it's gone back to there. So 250, custom size, uncheck the constraint. Let's see if we uncheck the constraint. Yeah, that looks more like it. Okay, not ideal necessarily for this, but just move that in. This is going to be my space here, and here's some space for my next image, and I need to browse the file. I'm going to go and finish this off and get back to you in a sec. So that's my images. Now, one thing I need to do for all the table is I need to get rid of the border. So it might be that I need to select that all, but I don't want this border to be showing through. So I'm going to do that now. So I just edited that because I don't really want the table to be visible. So all I've got to do now is link to home page and link to classes page. So I'm keeping this really simple and again choosing the correct color. So just to remind myself, it's 5B, 2C, 6F. And then I think I will just change the font. And then I'm going to go make them into links. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I do need to save it. So I need to save it in a folder, in the correct folder, where I'm going to be able to get that when I need that. So this title is home. I'm going to overwrite that. Yes, I want to replace it. I'm going to go and have a look at that, what that actually looks like now in Chrome. And this is what it looks like. It's a bit too spread out. So I'm just going to make sure that it fits on the page a bit better by just bringing all this in here. Okay, I've moved the pictures to where I want them. I'm going to leave them like that. So now we'll look at inserting our hyperlink. So the easiest one to do is to the home page. We've already got that. Just browse to the home there, click OK, and then the classes page, which I need to make now. So I'm going to save the web page as home. So that's 9 marks. Now I need to do the classes page based on this design. So I can probably reuse some of that home page and just put the table in there to save time. So I'm going to save this here as classes to save time. So what I need to get rid of are the images. So I need to delete those and delete the table. and then I need to delete this section here. So delete this row and delete this text, and need to go back to this cardio class information and then put these details in here. So that's my next job. So I'm going to just insert a table. So I've got my wireframe. I've actually got two tables here. One which is just a 1x1, and then a 2x4 there to put the information. So cardio class information goes in the top there. I'm guessing that's suggesting it wants to be a purple background and white text there, so I need to do that. So using table here and cell or background color, I changed that, and I'm going to change the color of the font to white there like that. And I think that is also centered, which is a little bit tricky on there. I need to push that up manually like that. If that doesn't work, just push it up manually like that. And then what I want to do is change that to a sans serif font. And now what I need to do is put so having this here just allows me to copy and paste that. So hit £4.50. I should have put the class title and cost there. Again, I'm having problems with, I just paste without formatting. So hit, so class title and cost goes at the top. Pound it out, £5, and step. So I've gone ahead and done that now, and I might just want to just reformat the table a little bit, and I need to change the font there. I'll do that off camera. Did that off camera because when I did it on camera it didn't seem to like it, and also we need to change the font color as well, so I'll do that off camera. And the last thing to do is the hyperlinks. So that needs to go to the classes table. I need to open the home page as well, change that to that as well. So I just need to make sure that the hyperlinks work. I'm pretty much finished this now, so just double check that now. So I'm on the home page now, just making sure that that works. So I'm on my finished website here, and just check that classes link works. That looks okay. Home page works. I'm pretty happy with that. Just go back to the question, make sure we've done everything. We've done the images, done the table there for more information, same elements, save as classes. I've done that, so I'm happy with that. I've saved the web page. Now, A3B answers questions and document evidence. Again, I'm going to answer on here just to save time. Explain one benefit of using a template to create a web page. For me, a template can add consistency, professional look. Every page looks the same, which makes it look more professional. Explain one improvement you would make to the web pages. So I might add more interactive elements like a calendar, perhaps. If I'm not sure what to do, perhaps add some interactive elements, but keep that a specific example. So a calendar would be quite useful in the case of this web page. So in case of the different classes page, that would be quite useful to have a calendar there. That completes task A3 for a total of 70 marks and completes section A for a total of 50 marks. Section B, task B1, Evolving with Fitness offers online fitness classes. Spreadsheet Payments contains information on payments made by one client for January. Two worksheets called Invoice and Information. Some functions require you to use more than one worksheet, so that could be some kind of VLOOKUP. Open the spreadsheet payments. So this is a spreadsheet here. So you've got invoice and information there. So format the invoice worksheet to merge and center cells A1 to E1 and merge and center cells B2 to E2. So working on the invoice spreadsheet, merge and center cells A1 to E1. So click on this button here, we can merge and center. And then it said this one here. So B2 to E2. Use dark shading for this heading with white text to highlight that there. Dark shading should go dark blue and the text in white. Right align cells B4, B6 and B8. So we highlight that. If I hold down Control, then I can highlight the cells that I want to right align without highlighting the cells I don't. So align right there. So hold down in Windows or the command, I'm assuming a Mac, and you'll be able to do that. Include an automated date in the header. So I need to go and view the header. So view, page break view, or page layout, sorry, then I can go to the header. So page layout, apologies, then I can go to header and insert an automated date. So current date, put that in the center because I'm not told anything else, so I just put current date in there. Ampersand date. So we can come out of that, go to view or close header and footer. Just click off that, and I need to go to view and normal view to get back to that, but that's already locked in now, that's done. And that's 4 marks. Format the information worksheet to include a named range for cells A1 to E28 named class information. So here, A1 to E28, I need to label it, define name, class information with no space. So I can just check that that's done. I can see that there. So right clicked on it and defined name. Task B1B. Clara wants you to use spreadsheet tools to analyze the data for the information included for P. Bellamy. Use spreadsheet functions to display the duration of the Sunday boot camp class, cost of class for the Sunday boot camp class. So I need to find the duration of that class there and looking in here to find that information. So equals V lookup. So I need to look up that information. Okay, so I need to find a class. So I need to select the right class ID that I want to find and then go and then edit my VLOOKUP, press the comma, go to where I'm going to get the information from here. And where am I going to find that? So it's column 3, 1, 2, 3, comma, and then exact match. Press enter. That's 45 minutes. So sub SK 45 minutes. That's correct. Okay, so I'm going to copy that down. Monday Body Shock, MOBSK. So let's double check that MOBSK is actually 45 minutes. Yes, it is. So we'll copy that down again. 60-minute Wednesday Pilates and Friday Boot Camp, 60 minutes. So just assume that that's okay, that was worked. Let's copy that class information. Because it's called class information, it locks it into that those particular sets of values. So that's that done. Sunday boot, so I need the cost as well. Now the reason I've copied these formulas down is because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be asked to do that anyway in the future. So just to future-proof it, because I'm going to be asked to do that anyway in a short space of time, might as well do that now. Okay, from where do I get that information? Again, highlight the table, okay, comma, but this time column 4, but again I want an exact match. So 4.5, is that correct? Yeah, it is 4.5. So again, I'm going to copy this down. I'm going to prepare for the future because I think I'm going to have to copy that down. So replicate the functions for the other classes. Yep, I've done that now. So I've got 5 marks there. 3, use the spreadsheet formula to calculate the total cost for the week, total cost for the month. So total cost for the week there and the total cost for the month. So total cost for the week is all these added together. So rather than just do equals that plus that plus that plus that, I'm going to use equals sum. And they'd expect to see equals sum in the exam. They wouldn't be expecting you to add individual cells together like that. Okay, so total cost for the month then. And this is where it could go wrong, because what you could do there is just multiply your total cost for the week by 4. But there are more than 4 weeks in January. There's 31 days, so you need to be really careful here. So it's equals to that divided by 7 and then multiply the result by 31. So we may need to bracket that just to be on the safe side. Bid mass, but I'm going to bracket that first, then multiply the cost by 31. There. 4. Use one spreadsheet function to display the discount message. 5% discount next month if the total cost of the month is £100 or more. If the message is not displayed, the cell must remain blank. So go and put that in now. Equals if. Okay, if that is greater than 100, lots of logical test. So what if it's true? Say 5% Now just need to make sure it gets the, yeah, that's better. So 5% discount next month. What's it false? Nothing. So that's blank and that should be blank. If that was 101, then discount for the month. But I'm just going to undo that because I don't want to mess up my formula there. Okay, that's 3 marks. On the information worksheet, enter a formula to display the total number of classes. I'm going to use a count to be able to do that. Equals count. That's 27 classes there. Save the spreadsheet as payments formula. So let's assume I've saved it now. B1C, format the invoice worksheet so that currency values shows pound with 2 decimal places. So let's go do that now. So all these currency values there. Click on home and currency. So if, like me, that defaults to a specific currency, I need to change that to GBP. So I need to find that here. So English pounds there, 2 decimal places there, and these 2 here as well need to be formatted to that. So mine defaults to AED, dirhams, but I need to change that to pounds. So again, it doesn't keep my original choice, so just change that again, pounds. And that's done. Row headings, duration, mins, and cost of class use text wrap. So highlight those cells there and we choose the text wrap there. And we may need to make that a little bit bigger to be able to see that. Row and column headings are displayed when the spreadsheet is printed. Yep, I believe there will be. To check that, just need to go to print preview. Yep, that looks okay. All cells that contain a heading have a border displayed. So just go back and just put a border around those there, and that's the headings. I believe that's completed that. And that completes B1 for 22 marks. Task B2. Save the spreadsheet as filter. Clara wants some information. Filter the information worksheet to show 45-minute classes instructed by Sol. So we need to add some filters to this. So if you go to data and filter, and you get these filters at the top here. So data and filter. So filter the information worksheet to show the 45-minute classes instructed by Sol. So we click here. So if you click on there, the dialog box appears. And again, click on here to filter that down. So unselect all, select Sol, and these are all the 45-minute classes instructed by Sol. So save that, display only the class ID, cost and instructor. So class ID, you need to hide these, right click hide, cost and instructor so they can be hidden as well. So cost and instructor has appeared there. Hide all other information on the worksheet so that only the filtered data is visible. So what that means is probably it's meaning these 2 here. So these 2 columns need to be hidden. So right click hide, and that completes task B2. Task B3, this is the theory part, and this is a total of 5 marks. Again, for the sake of convenience and time, I'm going to type on the screen here. Give one reason why it's useful to have linked worksheets in a spreadsheet. So it's useful to share data and not replicate it. It can be written once. It's only 1 mark. You don't really know. That's probably the maximum you need to write for that, as long as it explains why. 2, this is a 2 marker now. Explain one benefit of replicating formulas in a spreadsheet. So it saves time. Instead of having to retype the same formula, you just use autofill and copy the formula down to save time. Give one benefit of using a header in a spreadsheet. So to add important information like numbers, page numbers, or a date. 4, the information worksheet has a text muscle factory in the cell B3. Give the same function you use to determine the number of characters in the cell B3. So len could give us a length number of characters, and that completes B3 and the total spreadsheet questions. B3 is a total of 5 marks, and we'll move on to task B4. Task B4. So Clara wants to send a leaflet to potential clients to promote the fitness classes. She wants you to create a leaflet using the column structure, instructions, content from the leaflet content document. The column structure is given here. You've got 3 columns on both sides. and then the actual instructions are here. The leaflet content is here, so this text has got to go onto this document, and in addition to that you have these icons here as well that need to go into that document. There's 4 icons there as well. In terms of software for this, I've gone with Word. You could go with Publisher. Publisher would work. I probably wouldn't recommend PowerPoint because it's quite hard to get the columns right, to get them equal. I think you may end up losing marks. So I'd probably go with Word if it was me, or if you have it, go with Publisher as well. But just because most people have got Word, I'm going with Word here. So the first thing to do is go to Layout. I need to change the orientation to Landscape. So I need to make that landscape there. Then in addition to that, I need to set up 3 columns. So these are 3 columns here, and if I put some text on that, you can see that's into 3 columns there. So that's what I need to have. So that's document setup, and then I need to save it. So back to this, there are 2 sides to it, and conveniently they're numbered 1 to 6. So that's going to be useful when I look at the instructions. So I've done that, set that to landscape orientation, 2 sides of A4. I haven't done that, so I think I'll just Control Enter to force a page break. So now I've got that 2 sides of A4, so that's that done. Use the color scheme purple, white and black. So what's expected there is probably different colored text. So I'm not sure I'd necessarily go with a purple background. You could do. What I'm going to do is just make sure that there is some purple, there is some black in my text, and obviously the background will be white, so though you can't see this, I've got this on dark mode, it will be printed. So I'm just going to keep it fairly simple. But how you do that is up to you. Include evolving with fitness as a footer. So I think I'll go and set that up now. I'll go to the footer and put evolving with fitness. So the easiest way to do that is double click on the bottom and type there evolving with fitness. Now just check that F is capital. It's these little things that probably the difference between the top marks and close to the top marks. Just these extra little details that don't take much but just show that we can follow instructions. So add a column heading to column 1 and format it with the appropriate font and style. So let's go and get this information here. So content for leaflet. Step out of your comfort zone. So let's just have a look at this. So text and images to column 3. So column 1 is probably the front of the leaflet, so it probably doesn't want to have too much text on it. So heading and appropriate font and size. So I'm going to write, so I think I'm going to use the evolving with fitness, and I would make that as big as I can that fits into that column there on one line. Just going to make that bold. And in terms of font, I think I'll stick with, just scrolling through here, I'm going to stick with Calibri for my font. So evolving with fitness, format it with an appropriate font and style, add an appropriate image to column 1 and include alt text. So now I need to add myself an image, insert an image from the folder that I'm given. So I've chosen my image from there. Now I'm going to make that text, that is black. I'm probably going to go with the purple there, like the dark purple, that one. And I'm going to center it. So I'm starting to introduce the color scheme. So add alt text, view alt text here, okay, and just keep it simple. Fitness class is going to be my alt text there that I've added to that image, okay. So back to this and include appropriate alt text. Okay, add some text and images to column 3 and make appropriate use of the grouping layering to make sure the text is in front of the images. Add a table to column 5. Okay, given quite sort of free choice about what goes in there. So we've got some text here and we're not told exactly where that should go. So I'm just going to take that. I'm going to cut this so I know what I've taken. So instead of copying and paste, I'm going to cut and paste. So I'm going to go into that. Just going to get down to that third page, third column there. Okay, and paste that in there. Okay, so add some text and images to column 3 and make sure you use the grouping layer so text is in front of the images. Okay, so let's get an image on there and then do the text in front of images. So I've chosen my image and I need to select behind text. So I need to place that behind the text there. Looks a little odd there, but it fulfills a role. So choose a color there, that's going to be appropriate. Okay, if I'm not happy with that, you could always format the picture and make it slightly more transparent so I can read the text a bit. Maybe put that on 50% so I can read the text a bit better. So that ticks that box there. Okay, add a table in column 5 that includes table information. Format the table by making appropriate use of borders and shading. So you need to go down now, just click there and come down to number 5. This is number 5 here. So go back to this. So we've got information for the table there. So we've got the class and the date. So I need to create a table that is able to accommodate that data. So I've added my table here. Now here's an opportunity to add more of the color scheme. So I can add purple headings there. So again, ticking a box. So I'm going to cut and paste this in. And the reason for that is then I know that I've used that in here and that's in there. So I don't need to double check that. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste or cut and paste this into this table. So that's the table filled in. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, format the table by making appropriate use of borders and shading. So I think that's okay. I'm happy with the shading in there. I've ticked another box with the color scheme, the purple, the black and the white. Okay, add the 4 icons and relevant text to column 4. So what does that mean? This is the icons and text here. Well, these aren't the icons, but I'm just going to cut and paste that. So again, the reason I'm cutting and pasting and not copying and pasting is so that I know that that is done. This has moved this down, so I'm just going to move that back up. So I don't want the word icons in there, but I want contact there. Now I need to insert the icon from the images folder. So that is the contact. Now I am limited for space, so in terms of formatting, I'd quite like that to be next to that. So I want that there like that. I chose tight and I moved that there like that. That's what I want all this to look like. So I'll go ahead now and insert all the icons and get back to you in a sec. So there's my icons added. Now the formatting isn't perfect. I did use tight, so there's an even gap between the icon and the text, but there's not even gaps between the icons. There's not really much I can do about that. It's good enough. To spend some time kind of spacing that out so they're all even wouldn't be really worth it in terms of marks. There's no extra marks for that, so that is good enough. So next point, add appropriate text and images to columns 2 and 6. So let's go back to leaflet content. There's some stuff I haven't added there. I've taken most of that. So I think there's 2 things here. There's the classes and there's the team. So I'm going to do the team there. Put that on page 2 and add the team in there. Now again, that keeps taking my formatting out, but I can just sort that out like that. It's not a big issue. So I'm going to insert a picture of the team. So I've inserted a couple of pictures there, what could potentially be the team. So maybe that's the team that they're referring to. So I need some more text, column 6. So here is the last thing that I'm going to do. So I need to go to that, just edit this so I can get down to column 6 to finish this off. So I'm just going to cut and paste this into the document to finish this off. So maybe I've got another opportunity here to do a heading, and that could be purple to ensure that I'm ticking that other box there, so classes, and then maybe another picture inserted. And that's that done. I'm happy with that. Appropriate use of bullet points, appropriate use of white space, formatting features fit for purpose could be sent to potential clients. So I think we should add some bullet points. So here's an opportunity to add bullet points, to tick that box. Why it's done that particular style, I don't know. I'm not happy that they're not the same, so I'm just going to copy and paste that in there. That's better. There were two different bullet points. I didn't quite like the way that looked. I prefer them to be the same. I'm just going to put some space in there. What white space is the space between the text and the images. That the idea is it adds more impact to what you've got here. So it's an opportunity from the heading there, how to get in touch. And because I have been using this color, I'm going to make that bold. I'm going to make that purple just to add some consistency. So I could add something here as well. This is only if you have the time to do this. So if you do have some time to add these things here. So I'm happy with this. There could possibly be another heading here, but I think that is finished. I think that would get me the marks there. I'm happy with the way that looks. Given the time I've got, that is good enough. So there's some theory questions here, which again, to save time, I'm going to answer on the paper, but you would need to write in the evidence document. So everything at this point should be filled in the evidence document, ready to be printed. So when you get to the end of the exam, the evidence document should be full of the screenshots and the answers all the way through and be ready to be printed. So this theory question, give one reason why it's important to save work regularly. It's important to save work regularly because imagine you're in a 3-hour exam, you haven't saved your evidence document and you've lost all that work. There's no extra time. I've seen that happen. I've seen students work really hard in that exam, but they did not save their work and it's all gone and there's nothing you can do. It's devastating. So it's important to save work regularly because if something happens, you've got a copy of it. So it's important to save work regularly to ensure it's not lost if something happens. 2, explain one reason why color choice is important when designing a leaflet. It's important as the choice of text, the choice of images to ensure that you attract the audience. So I'm going to write an answer to that on here. So the answer is to ensure that it appeals to the audience and is suitable for the purpose. And that completes B4 and that completes section B for 50 marks. That completes the whole paper for 100 marks. Again, thank you for watching. Please share this video with others that need it. Please like and subscribe. It encourages me to do more of these videos. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.